All right, you guys, we've got a fun new product coming out. So we have our new Young Nails art pens, and today I'm going to show you some ways to use these, some kind of tips and tricks and things that are going to help you when you get your new art pens. So first things first, when you open up the kit, I know this is going to sound a little bit basic, but I'm going to show you how to open them. I know, just bear with me. But when you get them, they do have kind of a plastic coating on the pens just so that they don't leak or anything doesn't come out in packaging or anything like that. So you do want to make sure to remove that. There is a little perforation somewhere on there, but for me, I just take the top and twist it. So then you can just kind of pull that plastic off. So it's easier than trying to find that perforation. I know, it's a simple thing, but sometimes in life it's the simple things. So we've got a whole bunch of different great colors here. They are an acrylic paint. So when you first get the pens, give them a little bit of a shake just to make sure that that paint kind of mixes up in there. Now when you shake, make sure that cap is on. Again, I know it sounds a little bit basic, but we've all done this. We've taken the pens and shaken them with the cap off. And because you have that paint on there, the paint can actually spatter. Now, as you use these, you generally don't have to shake them as you're going along with your designs, but maybe if the pen has been sitting for quite a while, maybe you haven't used that color in a while, just give it a quick shake before you use it again. So when you open up the pens, you want to make sure that you're opening them slowly. So just kind of pop the top off and then you can open the pen. What you don't want to do is just yank the top off, because what can actually happen is if there's any extra paint on the tip of that pen, it can actually spray, okay? Now, again, it's not going to happen on a regular basis. It's not something that you're going to have to worry about all the time. But if you do kind of pull that top of the pen off really quickly, it can kind of pull some of that paint with it. So I always say, just pop the top off and then take it off slowly, okay? Take the cap off and you're going to notice that the tip of the pen is white. It doesn't have paint on it yet. So what we need to do is prime the pen first. And I like to use my mixing tile. All you're going to do, you're going to put straight up and down and you're just going to press that tip down. And what that's going to do is that it's actually going to start the paint to flow down to the tip of the pen. You'll start to see a little bit of that paint come down. If it doesn't come all the way down, just hold the pen and just kind of press that just a little bit longer, and then you'll start to see. Now, so it doesn't flood, you don't want to press for a long time, but just enough to get that paint flowing. And then what I actually like to do is I'll take and just kind of touch the tip of the pen to your mixing tile, and I'm just kind of rolling it just to really distribute that ink all the way through the tip of the pen. So we've got a couple of different, well, lots of different colors here. But we've got more of our solid colors, and then we have our silver and gold. And our silver and gold are gonna be your metallic kind of colors. So we're gonna kind of work with these just ever so slightly differently than we're gonna work with the solid colors. But depending on how you like to work, you can work on either a matte surface or a shiny surface. I personally like to use the matte surface because I feel like I kind of like the texture, that little bit of texture when I'm doing my design work, and I feel like I get a smoother kind of a design. But you can use the shiny surface if you want to. Now what I've got is our go time, and I've done some go time in the white and the black. Now if you're working over the shiny surface, just do your go time, you're good to go with your design, and then you're going to top coat. So if you're wanting to work with a matte surface, all you need to do is just apply a coat of our Manicure Matte Top Coat, cure that for 60 seconds, and then wipe off the tacky surface. And that's what I've got on these two nails here, okay? On these two, I've just done just our go time. So those are the shiny surface. Now on this last one, I just did 2 coats of our Manicure Black 101. Now Manicure does have that tacky surface. I do not recommend working over a tacky surface. It's not gonna give me a really good crisp design. And then also, I got some of that tacky surface on the tip of my pen. So I don't want to get that extra color on there. I'm just going to kind of roll that and clean that little bit of that tacky surface off. This one I'm going to kind of prime it just a little bit more to get a little bit more paint. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of clean that off a little bit. So let's show you the metallics, because these, you guys, I love these. I think they're so pretty. So I'm gonna take my silver, and again, I've already shaken this, given it a nice quick mix a little bit earlier, so I don't necessarily need to shake it again, but I'm gonna take off that cap nice and carefully. Now, if you feel like there may be a little bit of extra paint on the tip of the pen, you can just take that and again roll that onto your mixing tile. Because sometimes, you know, if you've primed it a little bit and maybe you had a little too much on there, you don't want that to interfere in your lines. So I'm gonna do some nice thin lines, so I don't want that extra paint. So again, just rolling that just to kind of take off any excess. So I'm just gonna come in to show you, you can do some really kind of fun swirly things. Okay, just kind of as an outline. You can do stars, you can do whatever shapes you want. However you guys want to get creative with these is totally up to you. You can write your little, I don't know why, but everybody always wants to write love on the nails. So you can do your little L-O-V-E and do your love. You can write letters, numbers, all of your things on there, okay? So it's gonna give you a really nice fine point so that you can write. All right, so when you're working with the metallics, these you want to give them a little bit of a longer time to dry. Now when I say longer time, I don't mean 5 minutes or anything like that. It's really about a minute or so that it's going to take for the paints to dry. But with the metallics, you're not going to be able to see as easily as you will be with the other colors when they're dry. So just make sure to give them a little bit of extra time. Now let's go back to our other colors here. These ones you're going to be able to tell when they are dry. I'm going to pick a couple of colors here. And I'm just gonna do just a couple of little really quick applications here. Here's a brand new one again. I'm gonna open that up really quick, take off my plastic. Again, give that a quick shake. Again, I'm gonna prime this color. So that one came out a little bit quicker. So again, I've got a little extra paint on there. So again, I'm gonna just roll that, take off some of that extra paint. Now sometimes, you guys, I'll actually leave a little bit of that extra paint just in case I want to dab just a little bit, and then I can, then I can go into my design. Just adding some color here and there, however I want to. Okay, now if you do touch, I touched one of the, you know, the little yellow area, again, you can go through and clean off that other color and get rid of that so that it doesn't blend in with what you're working on here. Another fun thing you can do, and this is actually one of my favorite things to do with these art pens, you guys, I'm not a hand painter, I'm not a drawer, you know, anything that takes lines and, you know, precision is not my style. What I like to do is a lot more blending and colors and things like that. So I actually will take some swipe and I'm just gonna come in and kind of fade those together, kind of marble that together a little bit. So the yellow and the green will kind of come together. And you can actually start to see how the paint is starting to dry to more of a matte finish. So again, just kind of blending your colors together, using it as more of a background. So again, you guys, you can use these, again, they're just acrylic paints, so you can use them however you want to use them. I'm gonna show you guys though, my favorite thing, I know, again, it's gonna be simple, but my favorite thing to use these pens for, polka dots. And you're not having to go back and forth from your paint to your nail, from your paint to your nail. So again, this one's been prepped and primed a little bit more, so you can create those larger dots. And again, as I'm going, if I want to create smaller dots, again, I'm just going to use less pressure. Okay? So you can kind of see that you can do those really pretty polka dots nice and easy. When you are done using your pens, want to make sure that you are storing them flat. We don't recommend storing them with the point up or the point down. Here's the reasons why. So if you're storing your brush with the point facing upward, what can happen is that paint is all gonna kind of flow back down into the handle here. And when you go to use it, you're probably gonna have to reprime it again to get that paint up into the tip. Okay, and you don't want that paint to dry out on the tip. So that's why we don't wanna store them facing up. Same thing facing down. If you're storing them facing down, sometimes you can get that puddling of the paint in the tip of the brush, And then also you can get that paint kind of puddling in the cap. And again, that's why I say make sure to open them slowly, because if you get that puddling in the cap, when you pop the cap off, it can spray that paint out. Okay, so again, make sure that you're storing them flat rather than pointing with the top up or down. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed some tips and tricks about our new product, and keep an eye out for some other design work and some more education on them.
Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel now. Subscribe